Back at it again. We joined by the man, the myth, the legend, formerly known as Ringo J. Stefan Nadine, and of course, the super producer Joel Holt. What's happening, fellas? Hey, sorry I'm late, guys. I had to get fresh. Had to get fresh. It is what it is. On the one day that I show up late for my show, everybody got a problem with it. Okay, I see how it is. Now, we got a lot to get into on today's episode, man. Got to sit here and look at some of the things going on with Matt Eberflus. Look at some of the listen, I get it. He's fresh. He's got the fade. You know what I mean? Me and Flus were at the barbershop together. That little chain action. Yeah, I mean, but are we all of a sudden convinced that Flus is the answer? What changed? Because when we left this season, nobody was convinced. We got to talk about that. And then some concerns that maybe we may have with Caleb Williams. Everybody's excited. Everybody has the upside. And I'm not saying that this has to be the, oh my goodness, Caleb's terrible at this, and this is my biggest problem. I'm not sitting here telling you that in the slightest. My point is, are there things that we want to see him improve upon the second that he does hit the NFL as he develops through this season? All that and more on today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Boys, what's going on, man? What's going on? You talking trash about, you a little feeling yourself after last night's 2K bout.
All I want y'all to know, YouTube family.
Yeah.
This dude right here.
Yeah.
2K Javon Carter right
2K
here. 2K
Javon Carter. Okay, so brand new player.
You had three. I don't know.
Brand new player.
Three over.
Legitimately, Joe, legitimately, just made the player 6 hours before we start playing.
Made him? What you mean made him?
What?
Like created him?
Yeah.
Hold on, sorry guys. We got to take a second here to update the old man.
Made your own player? I mean, I used to do that a long time. But I mean,
so Joel, video games have changed a lot since you were playing Atari.
Shut up, dude.
So there's this thing called My Career in 2K.
I know about My Career.
Where you literally can just play as one player.
I know.
Through the entire thing. You can also play online.
Yes.
With your friends, if you had those. And you can play with a group of people in the rec, which is your group versus their group. Right. So, yes, I had made my player a little bit earlier than that, kind of developed them. He's a little underdeveloped. I didn't know what he could do. This mug is cold, low key. I went 5 for 5. I went 5 for 5, but I didn't know what he could do. So, yes, there were some question marks. I passed out of some questionable shots that seem like now, after seeing him play, were easy buckets.
Those were dumb.
They were easy buckets.
Guys, leave me alone.
They were easy buckets. No, you're getting the old man. You're getting the old man treatment right now.
The last time I played the current Xbox was 2014, 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's a different 2K. That's a whole different game, brother. Yeah.
You started rehabbing houses and doing real manly things. I was busy.
Oh, manly things, are they? Are those the manly things to do?
Rehabbing houses and stuff.
I just pay other men to do those because I'm more manly than those men are.
I just got so busy that it was like I didn't have time. That's really what it got down to. Yeah. I do have one of those custom systems though, where I have all the old Nintendo, Super Nintendo.
Oh, them
Genesis.
Is lit. You got to emulate. I built one
of those little systems, so I learned how to get one.
Now you're trying to show you a nerd again. I'm still in on the video games. I built it.
What do they call Raspberry Pi? Is what that little device is called. It's called It is. It's called. That's what it's called. It's a little motherboard. You can download that, put the emulator on there, and you could and then the new systems they give you all the games. Atari, Neo Geo, TurboGrafx, the whole deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shout out to
you ever played on a Raspberry Pi?
No.
I ain't done that since high school. That was a whole different time. That was a different thing altogether, man. Hey, man, let's jump into some of this Chicago sports talk because Raspberry Pi sounds crazy, dog. My question to the chat, my question to the panel today: are all of our concerns about Matt Eberflus magically out the window because he got a fade and a beard? Because all of a sudden, everybody's excited about Flus. Everybody, and I don't know. I'm not going to say that. I don't know if people are excited about Flus, but they're not worried about what Flus brings to the table as much as they were when we left the season, when we headed into the offseason, different things like that. It kind of seems like people are like, well, you know what? The team's so good, he's going to figure it out. And this ain't basketball. This is football. That is a very difficult sport to just say it doesn't matter. But I swear the conversation around Flus has changed, or shall I say, has faded since he got a fade. Boys, are you confident in Matt Eberflus heading into next season? Is he good enough to lead this new look Bears?
I am confident about him on his side of the ball. I'm confident
defensively.
Yeah, I'm confident about him on his side of the ball. My question is now, do you have the ability to be a better head coach than what you were last year? Because the knock on him last year was that you played just good enough.
Yeah.
I don't need you to be just good enough. Not with the offensive firepower that you got right now. Not with the team that you have right now. Because listen, you have to win at least 10 games minimum. And we just talked about this yesterday about, listen, at some point in time, you're going to have to leapfrog the Packers. That's the mental hurdle. Can you be mentally prepared? Can you be mentally tough to lead your team against those teams that you're trying to beat in order to get where you got to go? I'm confident with him on his side of the ball. I'm optimistic about what he can do as a head coach to going into the season.
Hey, Bears Junkie said, growing a beard automatically ups your IQ 30 points.
I'm not going to lie. It definitely builds the confidence in you. Yeah. When you go from looking like, I just, whatever we got to do, guys, to all of a sudden you're like, hey, look, y'all know how we get there.
I think
the beard does help with that.
Yeah.
I think that he's smart enough, or he sold, I guess, himself to a point where, look, they believe in his defensive schemes and his ability from that standpoint. So I'm echoing the same things that you guys are saying. I think that what Ryan Poles showed you was, I think he was able to assess and look at everything strategically and make the right determination, which is why they made all of the moves and changes that they made. I think he can separate and say he does have command of the locker room. He did get the team to come, kind of turn around.
Yes. There was a belief in
there's a belief that he was, because it looked bad for. I mean, I wanted him gone as well, but those last 6 games, the defense looked better. They got Montez Sweat. It's like, look, you give me some talent, I can do something with this. I've proven I did this in Indianapolis. So I never thought, once they kept him, I'm like, he's not going anywhere. All this 1-year stuff.
Yeah.
This is, to me, I feel like Ryan Poles has more input or more presence on this team than really the coach. Like, the coach is his extension, in my opinion. And so now that you got Shane Waldron, Shane Waldron is going to basically help, where it's like, I'm going to do offense, and he's like, and I'm going to do defense. You do offense, because Eric Washington is not even calling plays. So we know.
No, he's not. No, he's more of he's the look ahead guy, right? He's what Flus had to take over, and why he ended up going. Remember when we thought Lovie Smith may be the guy who the Bears end up picking up as the eye on the enemy guy, right? He that's what Eric Washington is going to be. He's going to help with the game plan, help with the look ahead, different things like that.
Why are you calling me out, man? Talking about Trey Parsons for the
Trey Parsons and a knife for Joel.
You know what? You get the horn for that, dog.
Here's what I'll say, right? How many games last year, from the time we got Montez Sweat, did we feel like the Chicago Bears were poorly managed in?
Afterwards?
After we got Sweat.
Well, when did we get him? Because I think
first Sweat was the first week versus Detroit, right?
Was that okay?
Because he was not on the field for the final drive where we end up blowing the lead.
So, yeah, let's see. We got this whole. Let me see. Let's figure this out over here.
You're trying to figure this out. I'm not gonna lie. The PIP is kind of crazy. Yeah, Joe bringing back the old school picture out here.
Well,
can you change the background color to the light blue instead of the red?
I'm working on some new stuff over here.
Nah, yeah,
the question is that he still did he learn from his in-game mistakes?
Well, we know that because we saw those same mistakes pop up in that Packers game at the end of the season.
Right. So
That's why I'm bringing the
but
question
is
to
he
the
blaming?
fold.
But is he able to? Was Getsy the scapegoat? Was Getsy the scapegoat? Because it's like I would hate that we go into this season again, and now we're getting some of these situational issues. But then again, I would have to think that the offensive coordinator. I'm okay. Let's say this: what defensively mistakes did he make? There's Detroit. Were there
Detroit multiple
Detroit
times.
in the first Detroit game
Yeah.
was like that was a snafu. But did
Mhm.
they really mess up a lot of other games at the end of the season on the defensive side?
I'm trying to figure out when exactly Sweat's first game was here. Because it says we traded for him October 31st. So what would have been the next game for us off of that? December, that's November, October 29th. So his first game here would have been the Saints game. I don't know if he played that game. I don't remember him playing in that game. I think first game would have been the Panthers.
I think he played.
Did he play first game here?
He like quick practice. And
So
he
then
was
Saints, Panthers, Lions.
Everybody's saying Cleveland.
Cleveland was his
Are
first
you
game.
guys saying? Oh no. Is the chat saying that he messed up in the Cleveland game?
Oh, Cleveland was a bad game. Yeah,
It was a bad game.
But I'm pretty sure Sweat was on the team.
Yeah, by that time he was there.
Yeah, because he was traded for on October
Sweat.
31st. Let me look on the defense here. Montez Sweat was a part of the blown Detroit game. I just want to make sure we're being factual here. I feel like the Panthers was his first game.
It was the Saints game.
Saints game. So he came in right away.
Saints game.
So right in that time frame, right? Saints, Panthers. So right in that time frame.
Yeah. Oh no, Denver. Oh God, I don't even want.
Well, that's Montez Sweat not on the
But
team.
that was still coaching. though.
blown lead. But here's my thing. So from that time, now let's look through the schedule here, and I mean,
if you pull up
that
his,
Panthers loss is a bad loss.
if you pull up his game log, you can go. From
That Lions win, you get that. The Browns loss. I think that we saw some coaching mismanagement on that. I also think Justin Fields played poorly in that game, but we saw some coaching mismanagement on that. I think that Packers loss as well. You saw some coaching mismanagement on that. Now, offensively, you didn't do anything in that game. They only put up 17 points.
Right.
But you're talking about 3 games out of the last 6 games of the season from the time, or 7 games of the season from the time Montez Sweat showed up, where Flus had some issues.
Yeah, no, he played. So he played New Orleans. He had like 2 tackles and a pass deflection. And then it was Carolina, and then the first Detroit game, Minnesota. He's been there since week 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I'm saying, right? So my whole point in all of this, sitting here talking about when Sweat showed up and stuff like that, is because that's when Flus had his best player on the defense start to affect the other players that you had that were really good on the defense. So now you're talking about him being confident in him, defensively being confident in him and the thing that he's strong at. I think that we saw some miscues there multiple times.
But you know what? Okay, so remember the old saying was with the defense: if you stop the team from scoring more than say like 20 points or 13 points,
For sure, yeah.
there's no reason why
You shouldn't win.
We should be able to score. We should be able to score 21 to 30 something points, right? And if you look at some of these games, I mean, it's since Sweat was there, it's 17 to 24. They lost. They won 16 to 13. That was a boring game. That was a Thursday night. Now they gave away the 26. They lost to Detroit 31. They gave up 31 points. They won 12 to 10. They won 28 to 13. They lost 17 to 20 against the Cleveland Browns. They won 27 to 16. They beat Atlanta 37 to 17, and we lost 9 to 17. So technically, the defense really. I mean, gave us some points.
This isn't a shot at his defense. This is a shot at him
As his coach,
as a head coach. Listen, I love him as a defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I think he's a good defensive coordinator. But the question is he good enough to lead this team as a whole? And I think we feel comfortable with him as Bears fans. Why? Because we sit there and look at this guy puts a good defense together. We're Chicago. We love a great defense. Oh my goodness, he's got a defense. No, we're comfortable with this. This is our comfort zone. Yeah. We're trying to come into a new era. Mm-hmm. Are you going to hinder Shane Waldron? Are you going to hurt Shane Waldron? We heard him talk about with Luke Getsy last season that when we're talking about those going forward on 4th down plays, we're talking about the plays. So he's hearing on the headset. All he's got to do, he said, I just got to switch the channel that I'm on, and I'm on offense or I'm on special teams or I'm on defense, right? And so he talks about listening in to Luke Getsy call the same play 3 times in a row, and he has nothing to say about that. Do we feel like he's the right coach moving forward?
I mean,
And I think that's the part where you come into this season, because if you don't, you're on the carousel again.
Oh,
If you
absolutely.
don't feel like that, guess what? He's not Matt Eberflus. He's Matt Nagy.
No.
He's not Matt Nagy. He's John Fox. He's not John Fox. He's Mark Trestman. He's not Mark Trestman. He's Lovie Smith. You're on the quarterback carousel again, where you're getting this guy up out of here. I love the belief that Shane Waldron's just going to walk in and he's going to be the head coach.
Yeah.
But that's usually not how it works in the NFL. It's a very rare occasion.
Hold on 1 second. Shout out to Michael Anthony. I'm with you, dog. I'm just messing with you. And also, we have over 100 in the chat.
Over 100 in the chat.
When it comes to Eberflus, he might be. Remember how we talked about yesterday about coaches?
Yeah.
Where it's just there's just a certain level. Who are the outliers that are above and better?
I don't think that's football though.
I understand.
Yeah.
I know. Just work with me.
I'm
here.
with you.
Now the thing is that he might be smart enough to say, I'm going to get out of the way. This is about Shane Waldron.
Yeah.
This could be like, I don't want to create no havoc here and start no issues. But like how Belichick, he's a different coach when he's got
Tom Brady.
No.
Oh, Josh McDaniels.
Yeah.
Josh McDaniels.
Yes, he is.
You know what I'm saying? It's a different type of coach with these different coordinators.
Did Josh get another job?
No, he
I
did
don't know,
not.
where is he?
Josh
he
is
just
out?
chilling?
I
Is he
think
chilling?
I think Josh is out.
Listen, if Shane Waldron leave, let me get Josh McDaniels. I'm not gonna lie.
Nah, but
I look. No. Not as a head coach. Not as a head coach. Josh McDaniels is a god of an OC.
Oh, okay.
He's a terrible head coach. God of an OC.
No, I think that's
I'm gonna roll with. Go ahead, Ringo.
no. Yeah, I was gonna say. I think that when you look at it, if you want to switch the conversation, because we always talk about that with basketball, that they're you got the three or four
Players
coaches.
matter more in basketball, right?
Yeah.
I get like, let's be real. The last 10 years of football, the best player in football probably hasn't won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, true. But
Like the best player, like the guy you look at and you're like, he's the best athlete in the NFL.
yeah,
They usually like maybe Aaron Donald.
yeah. Oh yeah, he's definitely gonna change the
Well,
game.
if you have
My-
the talent, the thing is that what do we talk about, right?
But you need
we could. Well,
you
look,
need 15 guys that have that talent.
we went from last year. Our main target was DJ Moore, right? And now,
Yeah.
in one off season, we got DJ Moore, we got Keenan Allen, we got Swift, and we got and also Cole Kmet, and then we got Gerald Everett. So we went from having one potential, like even from a receiving standpoint, option to now we got 5.
Yeah.
We're not even counting Tyler Scott. We're not counting whatever Valus does in the return game. None of that. So you have talent
Right.
now. And then if we draft Caleb Williams, you have a different quarterback that hopefully can process and make extra plays with a new scheme. There's really no excuse that it's almost like he's like, you go ahead and do what you got to do.
Don't screw it up.
Just don't screw it up.
Don't screw it up.
And
Yeah.
call me
think-
when I need to do a challenge here or there, but you got it.
Yeah, I think what it is to me, right, is the fact like it to Joe's point about what he was saying a couple minutes ago about coaches being able to get out of the way, like Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo.
Yeah.
Brian Daboll and Wink to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Like all those guys, like, hey, I'm going to coach the offense, but I know you're good enough to go get us a stop. But when the game is on the line, like you just got done saying, when that channel was on, when I need you to turn that channel on,
Yeah.
for us to make the decision, hey, do we need to go for it? Should we kick this field goal? Can you make the right decision to go get us a dub? We got yet to see that. But again, I'm optimistic because all signs are pointing to, hey, he might have learned from his mistakes.
How about this? How about
So it's just something we got to wait and
we'll
see.
support Terrazzo and Brandon's comments. Maybe he was just a rookie head coach. And the problem is there's not a lot of time. Like, people don't have patience, right? They want results now. We want to win now. And
It's my money,
because no
It's
one
my
lets-
money and I want it
I
now.
want it now. I want to
have
win
a
now.
structured settlement and I
Need
need cash
cash
now.
now.
Wins.
Call JG Wentworth. 877 cash now. Shout out JG Wentworth. They still in business, bro.
Yeah,
They
that
still
commercial
cooking.
all the
Hey,
time.
shout out JG Wentworth. A dominant commercial, bro. What is that? 30 years in the making on that commercial, bro? Dominant. Did your dad make that commercial?
No. He did make a few commercials.
They should have
back
brought him
the day. No, but I think that do we have grace? I think the problem is people are so thirsty for a win and for a contender, and they're not allowing things to play out. So I think the whole point was like with what Poles was doing. He's like, I got to build this team. I'm in the process of a year 3 build, but the lazy narrative is that the Bears have always done this. No, Ryan Pace did this. Jerry Angelo did that.
Right.
This GM did that. Now it's this GM's turn to do what he has to do. He
Those
says,
are the only two you needed to bring up.
Yeah. I was gonna
We're
say
through the entire 2000s with the two you said.
did you say 06?
What, 2006, whatever? What happened in 06?
but no, I think even to that point, you speaking about grace, I don't like coming out for this season. There is no grace. There is no grace because if he
There's no grace for Flus.
Oh, no, this year, no.
There's no grace for Flus at all because guess what? If you don't get it done, especially with the pieces on this roster, I'm going to find somebody else.
Yeah.
I'm going to find somebody.
And I think
this will be the top job.
That's the point of the conversation. That's the point of the question because
Did he get better? Did he learn? Did he grow?
right?
We don't know.
And I can't say that, right? As I go through some of those games, Joe, did we talk about coaching issues in the Cleveland game?
Yeah,
That's 3 weeks before the season's over. Did we talk about coaching issues
It was
in
the Packers
the
game.
Broncos game.
the Broncos game is end of the season? I'm talking about because when the Bears hit their stride is Montez Sweat.
Right.
So I'm talking about from that
okay.
time.
Okay.
That is 7 games to the end of the season. Saints, you don't have your quarterback. Panthers, you don't have your quarterback. You come back with Justin Fields. Bears game versus the Lions, where there are coaching issues in the Bears-Lions game that you look at Flus and go, what the heck are you doing?
Yeah.
You don't have Montez Sweat on the field for the final drive of the game. You don't have your best defender on the field. And he's after the game, he's, I don't know. I just, we got to work through that. That's something that we have to be a unit on and talk about collectively.
But
Meanwhile, I know because J-Mac is sitting there, he's looking at Montez Sweat, and he's like, this man is fuming. Montez Sweat's a guy that plays 78% of his snaps in Washington.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden he's not on the field. Vikings game, bad game offensively, horrible game. Were there coaching issues? Probably, but I'm looking more at the offense. A defense gave up 10 points and you struggled. You didn't score 1 touchdown in that game. I'm looking more at Justin Fields on that. Bears-Lions, Bears dominate that game. We're fine with it. Browns game, we're talking about coaching issues as well.
But see, I think too, again, so like that Lions game is a prime example of if he was not prepared in the sense of like we went up, we dominated, and then you're trying to play not to lose.
Not to lose.
And then you end up losing the game. Does he learn from that? But then because they came back and beat Detroit.
But they beat Detroit the second time, but they kept their foot on the gas. Justin Fields threw 23 passes in that Lions game.
That's not even a lot of passes.
He threw 23 passes, 169 yards, 1 touchdown. Guess how many passes he threw in the second half?
3.
1. It was the drop back to Tyler Scott. It's the only passing play they even instituted. As a head coach, if you're sitting there, after a while, you're going through the process of the game, you start seeing Detroit creep back up. Maybe you go, hey, what the heck's going on, Luke? Hey, brother, you want to throw a little bit here? Luke, what's happening?
Well, that's why he's not here no more.
Hey, absolutely. But I think that my question is how much of this is Flus's input? Listen, I don't care. And I want to say this the right way. Luke Getsy is at fault for his sins. But at a certain point, when you realize your quarterback hasn't put the ball in the air for 12 minutes,
you got to walk over.
when do you go, hey, Luke,
we got to do something about that.
What we doing?
Yeah.
Because coming into this season, and I don't think that it's going to be shame, but now my question is the other way. When you get to a point where maybe somebody's creeping back in and you realize your running back hasn't run the football for 12 minutes, is Flus going to be able to flip over to the offensive side and go, hey, why are we not running this ball at all? What's going on? What's your thought process here? What's your game plan here? That's where my concern comes in. I get it. He's faded up. He's got the beard. Everybody's all in on him. I don't know what it is about Chicago, but for some reason, coaches cannot win here unless they have some kind of facial hair.
Hey, Pat. In polls we trust.
In polls we trust.
I mean, we
but this is the move that I think we all doubted.
I know it is what it is, but he's
now,
here.
granted, Bill Belichick's still out there.
That's not happening, dog.
I mean, listen, he's still out there.
It's a wrap, dog.
I mean, if they get Bill,
Mike Vrabel's still out there.
No, I think the whole point is that it is what it is. Like they haven't made major improvements on the team.
Yeah,
we got to get to this draft, and if they believe that he's the guy, and we're going to have to rock with him until otherwise. Now, I'm not gonna lie, if week 1 comes out and we don't even look like a competent squad, like do not repeat. I don't want to be unprepared. Like we had all 16, the whole offseason to get ready, and we come out week 1 and we do a dud. The city's gonna be upset because there's no excuse after that. Nobody has any tape on Caleb Williams, so if this team isn't ready to rock and roll,
and we're definitely not playing the Packers, guys. I just to let you. Packers apparently are going to Brazil, so have fun out there. Como estás? Do a good job. They speak Spanish in Brazil, right?
Portuguese.
Brazil, Portuguese. Still como estás, right?
No, it's a whole different.
No.
I think no. That's
Brazil.
It's a derivative of Spanish, right?
Portugal is different.
Yeah, but ain't it?
Go ahead, man.
No, all right.
You can rock with
179
it.
in the
You go out there and say
building.
it.
38 likes. Somebody, how do you say
195.
what's up in Portuguese?
A to the bone. I think it's A to
Is
the
that
bone.
facts?
I used to work with a HR lady that was Brazilian. A to the bone.
He pulled that out so fast.
Random facts from the super producer.
Joe's Neato facts of the night.
I think it's what's up or something like
Where's
that.
our Portuguese following at? We had a huge Portuguese following when we were doing the Bulls all the time. Jay Grizz said they all derive from Latin. Yes, I mean, if we go back to the basics, but
Brazil
hey, listen, but I know Mexicans and Puerto Ricans that sit there and look at each other and be like, I don't know what kind of Spanish you speak.
That's different. Yeah, they're all different.
That's personal beef. Hey, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love. Let us know in the comments below, what are your thoughts on Matt Eberflus? Are you still confident in him as the head coach? Do you feel like he is the right answer moving forward? Do you feel like there is a long-term fix that Matt Eberflus is a part of? Appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love. What we got here?
Is Mama Mela?
No, it's not. No, it's not, Joe. Don't you say that on the stream.
Oh.
Jesus, Joe.
He set us up. Who is that? Who is it?
No.
I didn't know what it was. So I was right. It's 8 to the bone. I didn't know. I didn't know. All right, credits for me.
There's not much Spanish that I know.
But you know that one.
I knew that immediately. I was like, yo, no!
I know some other words. That's on me. Oh, that's funny. I didn't know.
I got so nervous.
Oh, that's funny.
I got so incredibly nervous. I'm sweating right now. Jesus. I thought that was the show.
Oh, God. That's
you know
funny.
what? Just for you putting it on the screen, I'm throwing the flag. That was crazy. Let's keep this show moving along, boys. Jesus Christ. Hey, are there concerns on Caleb Williams? That is the biggest question that we have to ask on this show today, because, I mean, listen, there's a lot of love for Caleb. There's a lot of excitement with Caleb. But I think now, because Caleb is what a lot of people have resigned to, they have overlooked a lot of some of the mistakes.
Or is this not a setup for the
This is a setup, yes, for an ad read here, Joel.
I'm starting getting.
There's a setup for an ad read there, Joel. Here we go. And so we'll talk about that after we come back from the ad. Joe, you're having a tough day, brother. You good?
No, I'm having fun, man. That was just too funny.
Oh, my God, bro.
Set me up.
Dog. I was like, please, God, no.
No.
Joel. I don't even. I can't even find the ad.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
Why is it sitting here talking about request access to the whatever? Hey man, if you want to get in on Underdog Fantasy, now is the time to get in on Underdog Fantasy. They have so many different games and ways that you can play the game. I mean, listen, when you're talking about their pick'em game, you can pick between 2 and 5 of your favorite players and literally go out there and win cash money. You pick higher or lower on their stats. They also have the Rivals game that is a part of that. All you have to do, go in there, download the app, use the promo code TWCB to sign up right now at Underdog Fantasy. They're the best way to get in on fantasy sports right now because they give you so many different options, especially with the NBA playoffs coming up right now. You got to be able to get in on Underdog Fantasy. Tune in with us right now, and your support helps us here at the Windy City Breeze. Promo code TWCB. Y'all know with all the stuff we're going through with YouTube, we need all the help that you can get. TWCB, sign up over on Underdog Fantasy right now to make some money back.
Hey,
Oh God,
you know what that remind me of? Anchorman, where it was like, if whatever you put on the teleprompter, he will read anything. I mean, he's like, go Eberflus, San Diego, la 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 la, great day. Yep, yep. Oh heavens, Raven.
Dog. The one MR said, did you get remonetized? We did not get remonetized, my guy. We're just back here for the love. We missed you guys. We really missed the support that you guys showed to us.
Yes, sir.
And it's now on us to kind of find some different ways to get some money up in this mug. Get your money up, not your funny up. So that's the goal over the next couple of months as we continue to go down this path. So we're still taking the L, but that's all right because we're taking a dub with you guys, man. Let's jump into this next topic. My God, dog. Hey, Baki, facts. The Charles Barkley one is the first thing I thought about. Hi, I'm Charles Barkley, and I'm here with my Fave 5, and you can get in on your Fave 5 right now. I'm a dumbass. When Chuck did that, I was crying, laughing, bro.
Anything. He will read anything.
Hey, Crimson says, shake the tip jar. We do still have the Patreon up and running for you guys who do want to support. We're going to have a weekly show out over there, the Designer Lounge. Tune in with us on that. That drops tomorrow over on the Patreon side, where you get the in-depth insight on content creation, some of the personal things. We got some great guests lined up to come on this week. Tomorrow's episode is going to be very, very insightful into my life. So make sure that you guys tune in. Might as well start with me, right? I mean, I'm kind of, that guy. But bro, let's jump into this, man. Our biggest concerns right now with Caleb Williams heading into the current season, I feel like a lot of people have pushed their concerns out of the way. They've just, nope, we're not concerned about anything anymore. Caleb's got players. He's got a defense. We're not worried about this man being a rookie at all. Here we go. Do you have concerns starting this season off with Caleb Williams coming in that you feel like need to be addressed during the season? I don't know what happened. A truck just hit the building in the back or something. I don't know what that noise was.
All right. I mean, I think I do, just to start off, because my whole thing is how are you gonna make it so Caleb doesn't have to go out and play like Superman, or he doesn't feel like.
So your concerns are more with the team than they are with Caleb.
Yeah. Because I know what Caleb can do. It's just about honing it in so that way he knows, hey, like I said, like we talked about yesterday, you got a good enough team. You don't have to do everything. And I think my thing is you have to make him, like you have to bring him into this offense slowly, and then sooner or later, as he picks it up, like the Bears at that point will be flowing. Like that's my thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's my only concern.
I think my biggest concern with Caleb right now is kind of what you said, but on his shoulders. Is Caleb going to be able to break away from being Superman? which has been one of the knocks on Caleb Williams to this point. He goes hero ball sometimes. Now, we see a lot of times there are reasons that he goes hero ball, but is he going to go hero ball too often? When you know you've got DJ Moore down there, when you know you've got Keenan Allen down there, there's more of an opportunity for you to go hero ball and get bailed out. Is the cushion that they've provided going to give him too much leeway to play the hero ball game and not do the check down game, make the simple pass? That is my only concern, because it's something that he's been dealing with in college. He hasn't had an option, right? It's not him playing hero ball by choice. This last year, he goes 7-5 because the offensive line is basically 5 Braxton Jones at the front going, oh, God, what, oh, my, watch yourself in the back. My bad. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, I'm sorry. Get up there, Caleb. We appreciate you. You know what I mean? So I think that is really my biggest concern with Caleb right now is are you going to be able to coach the tendencies that he had in college out of him by the time your season starts?
I'm not too worried about it. I think that's why they hired Shane Waldron. If Russell Wilson and Geno Smith are competent, capable quarterbacks, then I think that's why he was charged to do that. They're going to bring in a guy that can develop a quarterback. So if we got the offseason, things of that nature, you got the weapons. Like I see improvement in the line. I know I can't say that I think the line is great, but if that center, it was interesting to see. Did you see that new video with 1920?
Yeah, the new 1920.
Did you see the assistant, the director? He broke down a couple plays.
Trying to get in touch with him, brother. Yeah,
he showed the center Ryan Bates where he showed some plays where both the centers that they had signed.
Yeah.
There is a build. Like, I like the fact that there's some improvement, but I don't know if I'm 100% sold, which is why I see some comments where it's like, we want this offensive talent with the receiver. I'm like, I still want my quarterback to have time to throw the ball. If I could get an offensive lineman, great. If I can get a defensive lineman, because that means I got a short field, that's even great too. So that's how I'm looking at it. I'm not that worried about them because I think they've done the things to put in place for this guy to be successful. The offensive scheme and talent, the scheme, and they put the talent in place, or the personnel.
Yeah.
So I think that we should be able to kind of have a little bit of, I think we should be able to believe in what Poles is doing and that he's seeing this plan out.
And I think too, even going back to it, if you go back, just even if you focusing on Shane Waldron,
yeah,
he makes sure that as the quarterback you keep the turnovers down. Like in Seattle, those 2 years that Geno started, in Seattle, the 2 years that Geno started, you had 11 picks, and then you had 9 picks. After this last season that he just played, now you really can get somebody that can go down, stretch the field, and then even if you look at his like Geno Smith's completion percentages, those 2 years, 2022, you completing 70% of your passes.
Yeah.
2023, he's completing 65% of his passes. So listen, he's gonna make sure that at minimum, when the season starts, Caleb will be able to take those checkdowns. When the season starts, make sure you take the safe stuff, and when it's there, he's gonna be able to open up the playbook to let Caleb be able to be the natural QB that he's been up until this point.
Shout out to Lord Crimson, but I'm looking at his comment where it's like Waldron, he didn't develop Russ or Geno. They were major vets by the time Waldron got him. But
he developed Russ.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Geno.
No, he developed
Geno.
the portion. He didn't develop Russ. He developed the portion of Russ's game. He developed Geno.
Right.
He did develop Russ to a point. To say he didn't develop Russ is untrue, because Russell Wilson was unwilling to attack the middle of the field all until Shane Waldron got there. It was like, you have these weapons wide open running down the field. You just have to trust that they're going to be in the spot that they're going to be. And you have to put the football there. If they're not there, that's on them. Yes, it does show up on your resume, but that's on them. And I think that that's something that Russ started to do that last year in Seattle. It's something that's disappeared since he's left Shane Waldron. Geno Smith, he absolutely helped turn into that quarterback. Geno Smith was horrible. Geno Smith was horrible. You can say he was a vet and all of this, and he had been in the NFL, and all that has nothing. Nothing to do with his actual ability on the field.
The contract he got, nobody. You would have never told me. If you would have told me, because when did he get drafted? Like 10 years ago or 7-8 years ago, you would have never expected Geno to get a second contract. No, Shane Waldron gets credit for developing a quarterback. So I think that's why they got this guy to do what he's here to do. We got a rookie quarterback. He's got some talent. The thing I like about Caleb is that he's not a run first quarterback though. He's running side to side, trying to make all the extra plays, but he's not trying to sacrifice his body unless he absolutely has to. So he's looking to pass first, which is a good trait to have versus a lot of times some of these rookie quarterbacks, they're running first.
Yeah.
Once the pressure comes around and they get
and
nervous,
he's going to have guys getting open too. It's not just that he's passed first. It's that he's passed first. He's going to run side to side, and he's going to have DJ Moore.
Yeah. and Keenan Allen. Yeah, I mean, even if you go back and look at Caleb's highlights, most of the wild plays that you saw, like even the past
are because the offensive line is just getting torn to
even
shreds.
When the offensive line is getting torched, his eyes stayed down the field.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that he'll be able to do off rep. So yeah, I literally, like I said, I have no questions about Caleb. My questions is about Shane, to the point, like, how are you going to limit, like, how much you're going to limit him to the point like he doesn't have to go out there and be
I still have questions about Caleb, but they're more so, like, do you want to be Superman? Is that something that you're going to rely on at times, right? Listen, you can have your eyes down the field as much as you want. That don't help you if you get hit in the chest.
True.
Yeah, I mean, and the NFL is a different speed. There's going to be a learning curve that he's going to have to get into as he gets into the NFL. If you're sitting there, you want him to keep his eyes down the field. You want him to keep his footwork there. I don't want him running out of the pocket too quick because he's sitting here like, every time I see my right tackle go down, that's the end of it. Well, you got a right tackle that's willing to recover. You got a right tackle that's willing to fight back. You're in a different situation here in Chicago than you were at USC.
What I like, though, is that by Caleb coming to this team the way that they have it set up, very rarely, like we've said over and over again, a lot of times a rookie quarterback, number one pick, usually goes to a very bad team. And then what ends up happening, they develop bad traits. Then they don't learn how. Some of them can develop bad traits. The great ones will overcome the adversity and hopefully not get damaged. Like the worst extreme cases of David Carr, right? No line.
Oh, geez.
He gets shell shocked. He can't.
Poor
he's a
David
shell
Carr.
of himself.
Yeah.
And then you have situations where, unfortunately, like an Andrew Luck, the team got old and the line, he was still a good quarterback, but he was taking a beating to a degree. But he was still a competent, great quarterback, maybe like a Peyton Manning where they were building around him. And so, but this guy has the ability or the chance to have a lot of things in place where he can come out firing, almost like a Patrick Mahomes situation, because he inherits a great team. Now, the difference is that Mahomes being the Chiefs traded up to get him.
Right.
What was he, a 13th or 11th pick or something like that?
Mahomes was 11th pick.
Yeah. So they traded up to get him from wwhere they were before, being the 13-3 team.
Yeah.
So that worked out for him. The Bears and getting the number one pick, and they're a middling team where they're ascending. So he's inheriting a much better situation where I feel like he won't develop hopefully bad traits because all these things are in place for him, and he can really thrive instead of having like shell shock and he develops some bad traits that he shouldn't develop as a quarterback.
Yeah, I just think about it too. Like, he already knows that, like, I had to play perfect at USC. Again, like, even going
he
back,
had to put up 60 points at USC to win. You know what I mean?
Like, he's looking over now at practice like, I mean, you know what that is, DJ Moore.
Yeah, Sam.
I mean, you know what that is? That is Keenan Allen. Oh, that is Kokoman. Like, I think he's coming in knowing that he doesn't have to play perfect. So now, listen, it's like we've been saying. Once he gets drafted, it's on Shane to continue to develop him. But there's certain things that I think he already knows up here and that mentality, like, hey, I got a great defense.
Hey,
I don't
but
have to
sometimes-
go.
We got 200 in the chat, by the way.
200 in the chat.
Over 200 in the chat. We got over 200 in the
Two-
chat.
200.
200. Yeah, 200.
No, I think here's the thing. Like when you look at Waldron, or when you look at Caleb and what he's going to be building with Waldron, you also realize he's coming into an amazing situation
Yeah.
that won't be here forever. There's going to be ups and
won't.
downs. You got to develop this guy through it. Now, I'd rather you develop him through the situation you're coming into. I'd rather you develop him with Keenan Allen, with DJ Moore, with Cole Kmet, with Gerald Everett. But you also got to keep that situation high. Because eventually there is going to be the Pat Mahomes situation that comes in. And that's a lot of times where we start to see quarterbacks have that drop off, have that fall off. I look at somebody like Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb was amazing. He literally was an amazing quarterback. Or not Randall Cobb, Randall Cunningham. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Randall Cunningham. I'm
Bro,
tweaking.
I was like,
Randall Cunningham. I'm tweaking.
Yeah.
Randall Cunningham was an amazing quarterback until one man left.
yeah. Yeah.
You don't want a guy to come in. When I say hero ball, that's what I mean. You don't want his traits and his abilities to be developed based on that guy's down there somewhere, he can do it. You want his traits and his abilities to be based on this guy can play. There's tons of upside here, and you continue to be able to be the reason that your team is successful, not your team is the reason that you are successful, which is a lot of times how it ends up falling.
I think, too, what we hopefully should happen, of course, barring injury or anything like that, as he's ascending and learning how to play quarterback with the talent that he has, because these guys will not be here at the end of his career if he has a 10-plus year career. So in that transition, as he's learning how to play quarterback, there's a certain bar that he should start at, right? I mean, if we want him to be here, the greatest of all time, or one of the top, the greats, instead of being down here, he starts at the middle, and then hopefully within this year, he ascends to being a great quarterback.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, he's going to have like 2 or 3 games coming out because no one has tape on him. We're going to see what happens in week 4, 5, 6.
Depends on what your first 3 teams are.
I'm just saying, but
like nobody
no
can
one
have
has
tape on you and like you can go up against who are some of the teams we play on this. Oh, we got the Rams on this mug this year.
Aaron Donald retired, so that's a
I mean,
positive.
they're not all retired. Like,
Huh?
I mean, Aaron Donald retired, but that
Aaron
helps. So that helps. But Aaron
He helps.
Donald never was a factor really against the Bears.
But my all I'm saying is that it's just in general, there's no tape on the quarterback. You don't know his tendencies.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's good enough to just play in general. And then if they get tape on him, I mean, it's just like remember Will Levis came out. Oh my God, it's the second coming of whatever.
He had a
and then,
game.
like within 2 games, he's averaging 160 yards passing.
Kid, you can tell them
Bro,
the only 2 games kids saw.
Yeah.
Kid love Will Levis.
Bro,
Like, what you see?
It was, this guy's got it.
Hey, bro, kid ain't watching Will Levis game
I'm
after
like,
that.
you can't do that.
No,
You gotta
this
get-
guy's got
but
it.
for real, like if your first 3 games are like Detroit, San Francisco, and Houston. Yeah, that's a tough start to the season for that young boy.
it's-
Yeah,
because
man.
it's like-
I understand that. But all I'm saying is just in generalities, there's no tape on a quarterback. When he comes out and plays, they don't know what his tendencies are. Now, if he lights it up, they're going to see some things. They're going to try to adjust to that. And then we're going to see how he adjusts to those type of adjustments. And so he might struggle for about 4 or 5 games in the middle. But because we got a defense that can help hide some of those things, or we have a running game, or we have these receivers that can bail them out, where it's like, okay, just check down for now.
Yeah.
What are you seeing right now? What kind of plays work for you as you start to make that next change? Because it could be like even the Brett Favre situation with back in the day with Holmgren, right?
Mike Holmgren,
There's
yeah.
the famous scene of like, get him out of there. You know what? No, put him back in. Let him do what he. And so because he has to register, right? And that hopefully, I don't think there's going to be any issue about him.
Yeah.
There's no question about him getting.
He's playing. Nobody's
He's
putting in
definitely
Tyson. No, and I think that's it. Like even when Yurko talks about like his time when they brought in Brett in Green Bay, he was on that defensive line when Brett Favre comes in. He talks about how they were patient with Brett because they knew what they were trying to find. They saw the highs and they were willing to deal with the lows because of the highs. That's also a very different NFL though.
No, it's just
Yeah, I mean,
in
but
terms
I
of
do agree with
working
you.
with a player.
There is a patience that needs to be had there. And Courtney had an article on this, and maybe we'll talk about this a little bit more in depth tomorrow, where she was talking with all the teams that seem like they have developed or have a part in developing some of these quarterbacks, and that's on ESPN.com right now. But she basically sits there, and the one theme that continues to pop out to me is patience. When you hear Andy Reid talk about it, when you hear Matt LaFleur talk about it, right? When you hear all of these guys talk about developing a quarterback, they talk about patience. They talk about, listen, there's going to be some things that you just got to work through with this guy. And I think that's the one thing the Bears have never afforded a quarterback. Mitch had to be good by year 3, or it's over. Justin had to be good by year 3, or it's over. Jay, I mean, I guess that's the one guy we afforded. Mike Glennon had to be good within the first 3 games, or it's over.
No,
and thank God it was.
They were trying to protect Trubisky, which is another example of
Yeah.
If he sat the year that he was supposed to, does he develop a couple things to help with his development? But once he gets
not with
in the
Mike
game,
Glennon in front of him. Not with Mike Glennon in front of him.
No, I'm just saying that because they didn't do a good job.
I need you to help me develop.
They didn't do a good job setting him up for success. So he was thrust into the starting role early. He was not supposed to play. And, but all of that shows you how bad the structure, the management. The coach didn't want him. The coach wanted someone else. The GM is, they're making decisions where now
GM's hoodie up, he's hiding out.
Yeah, it's like, you can't do that. And so now you're not giving that quarterback the ability to develop. And so now we're now on our third quarterback since 2017.
Yep.
I mean, I think.
By the way, 200 in the chat, 72 likes. Let's get these likes up over 100 likes. Let's get them over 100. Come on now.
A perfect scenario that I think of, like, if you look at, like, we all saw, like, but like Buffalo Josh Allen wasn't always Buffalo Josh Allen. No,
I thought Josh Allen was one of the worst picks you could have ever made. When I saw him, what was that?
He had a horrible completion percentage.
No, he got to a playoff game.
Yeah, no, he got to the playoff game and stunk it up.
It was legitimately, bro, like it wasn't like he wasn't bad, but like his decision making was so bad. I'll never forget. He threw a lateral with his left hand.
Bro, I think the end of the game
to the defense, and it cost them the game. Like if he had just taken the tackle, they would have won. They were in a position, I want to say, for a field goal, or like they could have gotten close or something like that. And like Josh Allen just like lateraled it left, and the defense got it, and they scored a touchdown. It was like, oh god.
What are you talking about recently?
No. This was like Josh Allen, maybe third year, second or third year.
I think it was second year.
But then again, he got the right coordinator, and Dable took him to another place. And now that Dable's left, I mean, he's kind of like, he's old. Everybody wants him to extend to be the next great thing, but it's like that coordinator, that system, that worked together. That was the right pairing.
Yeah.
And so now you're seeing even Dable's not being able to. He's not necessarily a great quarterback whisperer that he's supposed to be, because Danny Dimes is like.
I mean, he's kind of.
What's up with your boy Ringo?
Ringo, what's going on with Danny Dimes, bro? What's going on there? Tommy Cutlets.
Whole lot. He got 4 wins out of Tommy.
Tommy Cutlets, bro.
At this point, he got 4 wins out of Tommy.
Yeah, he did. Keep Tommy in there, bro.
4 wins out of time.
If Marvin Harrison Jr. fall to 6, you taking a quarterback?
Nah. So basically, what they saying is they would take, bro. If Marvin Harrison Jr. falls to 6, because what they saying is they're gonna take Malik Neighbors, and I think we got 33, so we're gonna take Bo Nix.
That would be.
Y'all don't have 33. Panthers have 33.
Oh, you said 30?
We got somewhere near 30, and they talking about taking Bo Nix.
Well,
I guess giving Bo Nix MHJ is not a bad situation to be in, or
like,
Malik Neighbors.
That's like Andy Dalton with
Chad.
No, they drafted the other receiver.
AJ Brown.
Yeah, AJ Johnson.
AJ Green.
AJ Green.
And then they got Dalton in the second round.
Yeah.
And that was like immediately after they got rid of Ocho and Carson Palmer. That's crazy.
Definitely helps to go get the Red Rocket when you already got AJ Green on the table. The other AJ Green, by the way, there was 2 of them.
What's the other one?
He also was just an NFL wide receiver, but he wasn't as good. I think he's a streamer now. I want to say he's a streamer or something like that. Shout out to him, man. Hey, man, we appreciate y'all tuning in, showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Let us know your thoughts. Do you have any concerns on Caleb Williams moving forward?
Hold on real quick.
What you got?
Brandon, look, this is the point. I want all those quarterbacks to go to the top 6, because that means
none of them are.
I'm just saying, like, I don't care if Bo Nix, who cares? If he goes 6, that is great for us, because someone's dropping.
Well, he
I
ain't gonna
want
go
all of
6.
those
He's
guys.
saying they would take Bo Nix in the second round.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Oh yeah,
like,
number
nobody. I don't care about Bo
47
Nix
is what
like
we
that.
got. So
That's a long way from 33.
Yeah, that would take. We got
Busted field goal.
647, 70.
If he's good, do you call him Big Nix, and are you comfortable with
Oh
that?
my god.
Are you comfortable with that nickname? Because I feel like that's what's gonna happen there.
Bro.
Big Nix to MHJ.
That's wild.
MHJ down the sideline. Big Nix was all over him.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
No, is that crazy?
Oh,
That's
someone
what-
asked in the chat earlier. We are going to do a live draft party Thursday. The Thursday night.
The Thursday night of
Yeah,
the draft.
we will
Yes. I may be at Soldier, but the team will still be here doing the live draft party, reacting to everything that is happening right now. Everybody in the chat like, yo, Big Nix, what? Pat Wiley, right now, Molly Moore.
Hey, that's crazy.
Big Nix energy, bro.
That-
I'm not. That is a
Yeah,
t-shirt.
Hey,
That's a t-shirt.
That's a t-shirt.
That's better than freaking Nick Foles' nickname.
It's just crazy. We would get Marvin Harrison Jr., a generational wide
Levante.
receiver again, and then not have a QB.
And not have a QB. You'd have Bo Nix.
Hey, my
You would
man.
have young, old Eli Manning. Like Bo Nix is
Hey,
young,
man.
old Eli Manning.
Hey,
Bro,
my-
he's 24 already.
Hey, my man
By
said
the time the
you
season
guys
starts, I
gonna,
think he'll be what, 25?
Dexter Ramirez said, you guys going to talk about Washington's offer to Chicago for the number 1 pick, or was that just a rumor?
As far as I have heard, as far as I've seen, yeah.
They're not trading.
No, as far as I've heard, as far as I've seen, that is just a rumor right now. I will find out more in the coming days. But as far as I know, that is just a rumor right now that Washington was willing to offer the world for Caleb Williams. And even if it is, here's the thing. Does that not tell you, if you are in polls we trust, which I think most of us are, does that not tell you what Ryan Poles thought about Justin Fields?
Yeah.
No, they want.
King Book of World, that's facts. The old credit music was better. I don't know what Jordan threw on there now. I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah,
It's a bad guitar solo.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Hey, Joe, you know what I think about that? Throw the camera on yourself real quick.
No,
Just go ahead.
not doing it.
Go ahead. Joe, I got a question for you. I want you to answer the question.
Nope, not doing it.
Joe, what are your thoughts on Big Nick's energy? What are your thoughts on that?
No thoughts on that.
You have
at
no
all.
thoughts?
Nope, not at all.
Well, guys, you can hear Joe's voice in the background.
I'm removing that.
Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Show love. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the page. Leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Pod will be up over on iTunes, Spotify, all of that stuff. Make sure to tune in with me over on Patreon tomorrow. And, of course, we'll be live for the Daily Show tomorrow as well. As always, man, it's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again to continue watching our Chicago Bears, Chicago Bulls, all of that content. Tune in with all of the sister channels on here. And, of course, tune in daily over here at the Windy City Breeze as well for Stefan Adon and the super producer, Joel Holt. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. One love. Bear down. Peace.
One love.
I should have put the when I called